Today's topic is how to file GSTR1. So filing of GSTR1 has become very easy. The two Tally release 5.0 made it very simple. So in this session, I'm going to give you some basic information about GSTR1 filing. Not only the filing of returns, also some needed information about the GSTR1 filing. GSTR1 is playing a vital role in GST compliances. That's the first return supposed to be filed. I'm going to give basic information first for your knowledge sake. Myself, Manikandan G. I'm the Chief Knowledge Officer at Asset Integrated Info System. This session is organized by Asset Integrated Info System for the benefit of accountants and the business owners for their knowledge enhancements. Asset Integrated Info System is a 5-star partner in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So Asset will provide you the one-stop solution for all your Tally related supports. If you want Tally softwares like Tally Silver, Gold, Server kind of a products, or TDL, technical supports for your Tally and integration related products, you can contact assettally.com. Let's start the session. I have a small request. If you are a junior accountant and if you are not the decision maker in the organization, based on this class, don't take any decisions. And also you don't file the returns based on this class directly. Get consultation from your auditors, consultants, and your senior accountants. Let's get into the session. GST returns. So GST returns, what is returns first of all? So any assessee, if you are falling under a particular compliances, statutory compliances, for example, you are running a business, then you're supposed to file your returns to Income Tax Department. Suppose your business is registered with GST and you're supposed to file your returns to GST authorities. Similarly, if you have PF or ESI, you're supposed to file your PF returns and ESI returns to PF and ESI authorities. So if you are falling under particular compliance, then you're liable to file your returns to the respective tax authorities. Similarly, in GST, it is a periodical process, self-declaration by the assessee to the tax authorities. So an assessee by himself should declare the business transactions to the GST authorities. Okay, so for example, I'm doing a business, I'm registered with GST compliances, then on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis, it depends on the type you have selected. You're supposed to declare your business transactions, which is relevant to GST. For example, sales, that is supply of goods or services, is very much relevant to GST department. Then we have to declare whatever the sales we made during the month or quarter to the GST authorities. That is what is filing of returns. It is a self-declaration. That is very much noted point. Self-declaration. An assessee by himself should declare whatever the turnover is doing on a particular period to the tax department. So here, a regular dealer and also a composite dealer, all the dealers are liable to file the returns. It's all about the period. For example, a regular dealer is liable to file monthly GSTR1, and if the turnover is less than 5 crores, then they can opt for a quarterly filing also. That is their wish. If their business is less than 5 crores. Okay, but any type of a dealer, they're supposed to file their returns, whether it is GSTR1 or GSTR3B or CMP8, or different types of returns are there. It is up to the category you have selected. But even if he is a casual taxable dealer or he is a non-resident taxable dealer or is a composite dealer, they're supposed to file the returns to the tax authorities. We will have a discussion about a regular dealer's returns. Okay, so very important regular dealer returns. Number one, GSTR1. That is the first return supposed to be filed by the tax dealer. Okay, so regular dealers. We classify them as regular dealer and composite dealer. We are going to discuss today about the regular dealers. GSTR1 is the first return they're supposed to file. See, for every return I have mentioned a caption. GSTR1 is filing. That means we're supposed to file the return. We have to feed the details either in offline or online mode, but we have to fill the details in the GST portal. Number two, GSTR2A or 2B. It's nothing but the auto population reports. We are not going to file GSTR2A and 2B. It is the auto populated. Okay, so we'll have a separate session for GSTR2A and 2B. Number 3, GSTR 3B. 3B is nothing but a declaration. It's nothing but the combination of GSTR1 and 2A2B. So most of the time in GSTR 3B, we don't mention any information additionally. Everything will be populated based on the GSTR1 and GSTR2A to be filed already. So only thing is we have to make some correction if it is. Even the liability or interest, everything is auto-populated. Then we can declare the liability and we can make the payment through GSTR 3B, right? So this is about the returns. Now, GSTR1 in detail, we will discuss what we are going to file in GSTR1. It contains the details of supply made during the period. So I'm just mentioning the period. Period means for GSTR1, either it is monthly or a quarterly. Okay, here we are going to mention some information, some in the sense it is just the total supplies made during the year. Assume that you are a dealer. For the month of January, you supplied goods or services through 40 invoices. Okay, so you sold goods or services through 40 invoices. That means last month you made 40 sales invoices. So all the 40 sales invoices are going to be declared in GSTR1. That's all. You're sending a copy of your sales invoices to GST authorities of the previous month. It's a monthly return, assume that. Okay, so but you're going to give some classification. You're going to classify all the 40 invoices. It's not that you're going to upload the invoices or copy of invoices in GSTR1. You're going to mention the values, okay, the total sale value. And because of the sales, what is the CGST, SGST, and IGST liability arised for your organization, or the details you are going to upload to the GSTR1. But you are going to classify whether it is a B2B invoice or B2C invoice. Again, it is classified. B2B means business to business, B2C, business to consumers. So the B2C is again classified into large and small. So we will discuss everything in detail. B2B, B2C large, export, B2C small, nil rated invoice, sales returns to B2B, sales returns to B2C, are the advanced received from the customer, are the advanced which were already received for which the invoice is issued during this month, and HSNY summary and the documents issued during the month. Finally, the e-commerce informations you are going to upload. Very simple. Last month you had 40 invoice, but all the 40 invoice will be classified within these categories. That is a tedious process in GST, but Tally simplifies it. When you are creating masters, when you are creating sales ledger, when you are creating your customers ledger, during the creation of sales ledger, you have to classify the nature of supply, whether it is a local sales or it is a intrastates or interstates or export, or it's a sales made to SEZ, or it's a sales deemed exports, sales made to foreign customer, sales made to embassies, or kind of UNO organizations, or you're selling goods to B2Cs. So you're going to classify the sales ledger with the nature of supply. Similarly, you're going to classify your customers ledger based on the category or the dealer registration type. For example, is a composite dealer, or is a consumer, or is a B2B, kind of a segregation you are going to do. Based on that, GSTR1 is auto-populated in your Tally. So you don't need to worry about it. It's all about the masters you are creating or the categorization you are doing at the time of masters creation. Now, this is how it is classified in GST portal. So I told you already that B2B, B2C large, B2C small. Of course, the terminologies are different. For example, we'll see 4A, 4B, 6B, 6C, B2B, SEZ, deemed exports. D means deemed exports. So all your sales transactions which is relevant to B2B, SEZ and deemed exports comes under 4A, 4B, 6B, 6C category. And similarly, B2C large invoices. Assume that you are selling goods to your customer, who's a consumer, who's an end user. You don't have a business identity. It's a retail sales, we can say, B2C sales, we can say. So you're selling goods to your customer or consumer who don't have a GST registration and who is going to consume the product. He is not going to sell the product again. Year 5, serial number 5 is B2C. Again, serial number 7 is B2C. In case you are selling goods to your customer who is a consumer, don't have GST registration and all, is going to consume the product. Then, if it is a small value, in the sense less than 1 lakh, you are going to mention it in the 7. If it is more than 1 lakh of sales, one invoice you are issuing to your customer who's a consumer worth rupees 1 lakh and above, then you will be mentioning that under 5. So it's very simple. You are going to inform the tax department to whom you are selling the goods. Okay. So your this GSTR1 is not only to declare your liability and also to declare to whom you are selling the goods. So through your GSTR1 filing, government wants to identify to whom you are selling, whether your buyer is a businessman who buys and runs a business, or your buyer is a consumer who buys and consumes it. Sometimes there is a possibility your customer will not disclose that he is also a businessman. There is a high possibility because they would have not registered with the GST. Those who are dealing with the product for more than 40 lakhs supposed to get registered with GST. There is a high possibility they would have not registered with GST. So here, if you are raising invoice for more than 1 lakh, there is a possibility government can identify the particular customer. They may get some details from you and they can catch them. What is the reason to buy that much material? Whether their business really they are using it for their personal use or they are doing a business. They want to identify. And number 6A is export invoices. So you have to separately mention export invoice because you have a lot of advantages when you are issuing sales invoice to your customer who is located outside India, because you know very well GST is destination based tax. Assume that I'm located at Hyderabad, I'm selling goods to my customer who is located in Hyderabad, then my state government is going to get revenue. That is my Telangana government. Suppose my business is located in Hyderabad, but I'm selling goods to my customer who is located in Tamil Nadu. So now the Tamil Nadu government is going to get a revenue. So this GST tax is called destination based tax. Suppose I'm selling goods to my customer who is located in Malaysia. I may not charge any taxes from the abroad customer. So here the moral is very simple. When you're selling the goods to your customer who is located outside India, you're not going to charge any GST. It's nothing but zero rated. Okay. Though the product has GST, since your customer is located outside India, you're not going to charge any GST from your customer. So you have to classify it. Then in future, there is a high possibility department may raise a question. They ask for a clarification whether really the goods are sold to foreign customer, because here government is not going to get any revenue. You're not going to charge any GST. If the product value is 10,000, you're going to sell it to your customer, abroad customer for 10,000 only. You're not going to charge any taxes. Then there is a need for a proof. That is the reason they're asking you to file export invoices separately. And B2C small. Though it is not mentioned small, it is nothing but B2C small. And 8A, B, C, D are nothing but nil rated supplies. So if you are selling goods to SEZ without taxes or exempted products, you are dealing with the exempted products. Everything is declared on 8A, Similarly, your debit note, credit notes, your sales returns in 9B, a separate column for the registered customer sales return and a separate column for unregistered customer sales returns, and 11A for the advances received. Now you have to understand the concept. In GST, assume that you are selling goods to your customer, then you're supposed to collect GST and remit it to the tax department. That's your liability. But in this scenario, you're not selling goods to your customer, but you're collecting advance money from your customer. There is a criteria. If you are receiving advance for your wellness, for your cash flow purpose, you are taking the advance from your customer. Why not the taxes to government? That's a logic here. So government says whether you issued invoice or not, but you received money from your customer, you can say it is an advance, but government is asking a share on it. That means if you are receiving an advance from your customer, you supposed to assume that my billing, I don't know the billing amount. I may raise my billing after 2 months or 3 months, but now I'm going to collect some advance of 1 lakh from my customer. I'm not charging anything. I'm not raising invoice saying that 1 lakh plus GST and all. I'm just collecting 1 lakh from my customer. In that 18% supposed to be paid to the government. Okay. So advances received should be declared. Similarly, for example, December month, I received an advance against which I issued an invoice during January. That's supposed to be declared in 11B. 11A is nothing but the advances received from the customer. 11B is the advances already received for which during this month I'm issuing invoice. Supposed to be declared in 11B. And 12. Serial number 12 is nothing but the HSN wise summary. That means whatever the goods sold during the month of January. I'm taking an example of January month as we are in the February month. Okay, assume that 40 invoices are issued during January. Now all the 40 invoices details, product details, okay, supposed to be classified as with the HSN code. You know very well, HSN is nothing but harmonized system of nomenclature. Whatever the products we are dealing with the supply, assume that I am a supplier of mouse, keyboard products, then the products has some code. Okay, 2-digit, 4-digit, 6-digit, 8-digit codes are there that's supposed to be declared in serial number 12. What is the reason? Very simple. When you are selling goods to B2B, there is a possibility your B2B customer may take input tax credit. Okay, government can identify whether he can take that credit or not through the serial number 12. Okay, so see for example, I'm doing a business of construction business I'm doing, but I'm buying gold. So the supplier I can buy gold, that's not a problem. But I cannot take input tax credit on my gold purchases because for construction company, gold is irrelevant. Suppose I'm buying for my wife gifting purpose, but I'm taking I can gift it to my wife. That's not at all an issue, but I should not take input credit on such purchases. I may declare wrong information. I can say like it's not gold, it's something wooden material I purchased for the house construction or for my customer, something I can say, but my supplier will declare it that they are selling gold to me. So that is what is the importance of serial number 12. And documents issue. What are the invoices issued? Because the invoice is supposed to be serially numbered. Assume that I'm in the month of January, my invoice started 441. Then it should end with 480. But in between that, I have cancelled some invoices. No problem. That also I should upload. I have to mention that I have cancelled 4 invoices. So they want to know whether I'm issuing the invoices serially numbered. The sequence, they just want to know. There is a high possibility a GST regular dealer may issue invoice and hide such invoices without filing it under GSTR1. There is a high possibility. I can say like invoice number 1 is issued to customer, 2 is issued to customer, and again I'm giving a gap for 10, 15 numbers. So 1, 2, and then I'm uploading 16th invoice. So you'll get a query from department why there is a missing numbers for from 3 to 15. Okay, so you would have cancelled, but how come we cancel 14, 15 invoices? So that is how you'll be raised query. So you have to submit all the details about it. And finally, 14 and 15 is somewhat related to e-commerce. When you're dealing with the e-commerce, you have to fill the details under 14 and 15. I'm sure you're not going to file all this information manually. If you are creating the ledgers properly in Tally, everything will be categorized accordingly. Now, you have to understand very important points, that is no tax payments. When you are filing GSTR1, you are not going to pay anything. I've seen a lot of business owners, they say like, sir, I don't have money. That's the reason I'm not filing the returns. So filing GSTR1 is just a declaration about your taxable supply and about the liability which you are going to pay it later. You're not going to pay anything now. We are going to declare your liability, declare your supply value, declare your liability out of it. And it should be filed within the due date. That is very, very, very important. Now the question is there any late fee? No, there is no late fee. Assume that as of now, there is no proper clarification from GST about the late fees for GSTR1. Some of them are getting notices. That's a different story. But the amount and the period for which the late fee is charged, all those details are not yet clarified. Now the question is, if there is no late fee, then why should I file within the due date? You should know the due date, that is different. That we will see it later. But why should I file my GSTR1 before the due date, or at least on the due date? The due date is 11th of the month. If you are filing for monthly return, it is 11th of the month. For example, for the January supplies, you have to file your returns before 15th, before 11th of February. 11th of February. That is for the monthly return filers. Okay. Now the question is, why should I file the returns within the due date? Very simple. If you don't file your returns, of course, I'm a B2B supplier. I'm supplying goods to B2B and as well as to the B2C. Now you're going to face a problem. If you don't file your returns to your GSTR1 at the right time, then your customers B2B customers, they will not be able to take ITC, input tax credit. Assume that your customer is having a business and is liable to pay 50,000 rupees during this month. But he is expecting some credits from you, that is 40,000. If you don't file your GSTR1, you may not be in a position to take 40,000 rupees credit. Then instead of paying only 10,000, he is supposed to pay 50,000 rupees. Again, it's going to affect your customer's cash flow. You can give an excuse, sir, this month I have not filed. I probably filed it for next month. You can take a credit for the next month. Of course, they can take the credit later also. That's not their mistake. It is your mistake only. So they can take a credit later also. That's not a problem. But the situation here is they are going to pay 50,000 rupees instead of 10,000. They are not in a position to enjoy the input tax credit. Then they may shout on you. There is a high possibility next time onwards, they may not buy materials from you. To avoid this situation, you supposed to file your GSTR1 at right time. That is the reason government is insisting, government is giving this option without late fee or without liability. There is no liability. Why you are doing a delay? So only if you file the returns properly within the due date, then only you can your customers can take input tax credit. Now the question is, I don't have B2B customers. I'm selling retail. I'm selling it to B2C customers. Then also I have to file GSTR1 within the due date? Yes. What will happen? Very simple. Your customers are not going to take any input tax credit. That is different. Now the question is, even nobody is depending on my GSTR1, there is a high possibility you may lose your credibility because every person can access, every person can check on which date you have filed your GSTR1. You know one thing, suppose I'm going to be selected as a vendor for a particular product. There is one corporate company, they are going to get support from me. That means I'm going to be the beneficiary because I'm going to get a client like a corporate company. The first checklist is they collect your GST number and they put it in the GST portal and they check when you are filing your GST returns. It is a kind of CIBIL score. Hope you know about CIBIL score. When you're taking a loan, your banker will collect your PAN number and they check your CIBIL score. It's nothing but your credibility. It's nothing but your repayment capacity. If you would have taken a loan from a bank and not paid at right time, then it affects your CIBIL score. Similarly, if you don't file your GSTR1, such informations are available on the tax filing table at your GST portal. Okay, so there is a high possibility your customers may choose you based on your tax filing table also. So better you file your GSTR1 on a regular basis within the due date. That is very, very important. Okay, we cannot say like, sir, I'm filing not at the due date, I'm filing later also. That's not the right way. You have to file before the due date. That is for the monthly return filers. Similarly, this we have discussed, no late fee, but there is a possibility in future you may get a notice for filing of late returns, even for the GSTR1. Okay, be careful. And quarterly filings. So who can opt for a quarterly filings? See, there is another option for a small businesses. Government is giving an option to file their GSTR1 on a quarterly basis just for the convenience purpose. There's nothing apart from that, just for the convenience purpose. So they're supposed to file on a quarterly basis. Now the question is, who can opt this option? Who is dealing with less than 5 crores turnover? Any dealer whose business is less than 5 crores turnover. If they're a regular dealer, if their business is less than 5 crores turnover, they can opt for a quarterly filings. We call it as QRMP. Quarterly return, monthly payments. Of course, you have to pay on a monthly basis, but the return is supposed to be filed on a quarterly basis. It is the option opted by the dealers by themselves. Government is not going to force us. Okay, if you feel your turnover is going to be less than 5 crores, you have an example. Previous year, you can cross check. If your previous year turnover is less than 5 crores, then you can opt for a QRMP scheme. That means you are going to file your return on a quarterly basis. Now the question is, if you file your return on a quarterly basis, there is a possibility your B2B customers cannot claim ITC. Assume that January month. Quarterly means April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Right? Assume that we are at the fourth quarter, January, February, March. for this quarter, I no need to file a monthly GSTR1. Instead of that, I can file a quarterly GSTR1 during April. No GSTR1 for January, no GSTR1 for February, no GSTR1 for March. Together, we can file it by April month. Now the question is, if your customer is a B2B, then there is a possibility your customers may raise a query because you are not filing returns on a monthly basis. They may not be in a position to take their ITC. So for that purpose, government is giving an option that for the month 1 and month 2, you can file IFF, invoice furnishing facility. That is optional. Assume that I'm having only B2C sales and there is no B2B sales during January and there is no need to file IFF. So for the month of January, I'm free on filing returns, right? Suppose if you have B2B, then you're supposed to file your B2B invoices alone. That is not GSTR1. That is called IFF, Invoice Furnishing Facility. It should be filed 13th of the following month. For the January sales, I have to file on 13th of the February. For the February sales, I have to file IFF in March 13th. Similarly, for the month of March, along with the other informations of January and February, like B2B, B2C, export, etc., and sales returns, HSN, etc., everything in the month of April. So get a clarity about this. You have an option to file your returns on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis. But quarterly basis is an optional one only for the dealers whose annual turnover is less than 5 crores. Okay. Now you can opt this option. There is a cutoff to opt this option. See, if you feel that it is not comfortable to you, then you can go ahead with your regular filings also. But there is a deadline to opt in this quarterly scheme or opt out. Assume that till Q3, I have filed my returns on a monthly basis. For the fourth quarter onwards, I would like to file my returns on a quarterly basis. I don't want to file on a monthly basis. Some of them are thinking that if they are going for a quarterly basis, again, that will be the cost effective one, or they will not be paying amount service charges to their consultant, etc. But there is a work in this also. Okay. I can say it's just waste of time opting the quarterly return. It's my opinion. Okay. For the fourth quarter, you can opt for a QRMP scheme from 1st of November to 31st of January, not later. Because after 31st January, your January return filing due date is starting, no? So you cannot opt it after 31st January. If you want to go ahead with the quarterly returns for your Q4, that means already the period is over. Now you cannot go for a quarterly return for this period. Assume that for the 25-26 financial year, for the first quarter, you would like to go ahead with the QRMP. Now this is the right time. From 1st of February onwards, now we are at the 6th of February. Now we have a time to choose yourself for a QRMP for the first quarter of the financial year 2025-26. Just remember these dates. Okay. So sometimes I used to get a query from my students, sir, I have a lot of doubts about the GST procedures. How do I get clarity? Very simple. tutorial.gst.gov.in. See, even sometimes if you source it from Google, you will be referring some of the private authority sites. Sometimes it may not be an updated one, but this portal, this tutorial has a very relevant information. Better you can refer this site. Section wise it is given. Registration, IFF, e-invoice, e-waybill kind of headings are given. In that, lot of FAQs are there. You will get a lot of clarity on the tutorial site. Now, what are the challenges you are going to face on the GSTR1? One is last minute filing. There is a possibility if you are filing on 11th of the month for a monthly filers, if you are filing on 11th of the month, there is a possibility the site may not be available for your convenience. Okay, you'll get into problem. Even in that also, if you are filing on 11th, better you file it in the early morning before 8 o'clock. Okay, that is one thing. There is a possibility portal will be shut down. Okay, so you have to manage that, because if you are not filing on 11th, your customers may not get the input tax credit. Then you'll be treated as a defaulter. To avoid this, better you file your returns before the deadline. And e-invoice to GSTR1 auto update. Suppose you have a e-invoice Okay, you know very well, if I have 5 crores above turnover clients, the dealers have the e-invoice compulsorily. If you are having GST or e-invoice, and your e-invoices will be auto uploaded in the GSTR1. You are issuing invoice for one value, and you are submitting some other values in GSTR1, you'll be identified. Okay, and there is a difference between GSTR1 and GSTR3B. So now you have to ensure that the details submitted in GSTR1 should not vary with your GSTR3B. Okay, because you're not going to file GSTR3B, you're going to declare whatever the details you have already specified in GSTR1 will auto-populate in GSTR3B. Of course, some of them are modifying it. Small modifications are allowed, but provided that may differs the liability, and you have to file your GSTR 99C at the end of the year for your edited information. Okay, so there should not be any difference between GSTR1 and GSTR3P, and no alterations after filing. Assume that on 11th you have filed a return, and one customer says, sir, you have wrongly filed. Now you cannot alter it, but you can do the amendments later. That's a different story. But alteration is not possible. So some of them assume that they have declared a huge sales invoices on 11th, but they want to modify it. Then they cannot modify it. Based on the filings, we made it in GSTR1. Your GSTR3B will have the liability values. So you have to pay, and next month when you're filing your GSTR1, you can do the amendments and you can get the adjustment. That's a different story. And you are allowed to do the amendments for the next 3 months from the end of financial year. Okay, for example, our financial year is 1st of April to 31st of March. You made some mistakes, you missed some invoices. You are allowed to do the amendments. Okay, so when you're filing the next month in returns, you can do the amendments. You have time of 6 months from the end of financial year. That means for the March, up to the March, 1st of April to 31st March, the returns, mistakes, amendments can be done till September. The September returns will be filing during October, not till September of the following financial year. So whatever the mistakes we are doing it now, period is whatever the mistakes we are doing now, to correct it, we have a time till September 2025 returns. Okay, so for that reason, you don't do the mistakes. Try to file the returns without mistakes, right? Let us get into the portal, GST portal, and I'll want to give some more clarity on that. And you know about the GST portal, gst.gov.in, and you can see the deadlines here. Okay, most of them are not referring the whole page. They directly log into the page, but your due dates are given here. So GSTR 3B for the month of January, it is February 20th. Like that, GSTR 3B for some of them who has opted for QRMP, for them it is 22nd and 24th. GSTR1 for the regular dealers who's filing on a monthly basis, it is 11th of the month. So GSTR1 IFF quarterly returns means they are going to file IFF. It is April 13th. And a monthly IFF, invoice furnishing facility, it is optional. It is not necessary that you are going to file on a monthly basis. For them, it is 13th. For the regular dealers, it is 11th, no? For the IFF, it is 13th. Even not later. You cannot file the IFF later to 13th of the month, right? So this you have to understand. And then we have an option to file GSTR1 either on an online basis or on an offline basis. Now we have a twist. What is online? Very simple. You log into the portal and update each and every invoice manually. I have an example here. I'm going to log in. I just logged into the GST portal. So it shows your GST filing period and the pending returns. So for January, due date is, you keep the cursor there, you can learn something. Due date is 11th February. For January GSTR 3B, the due date is 20th February. It is a basic information. No need to remember everything. Everything is available on the screen. That's what you have to understand. Service, returns, return dashboard. Now you have an option. See the quarterly information. I have to select January to March. Now for the month of January, I'm going to file my returns. Now you have an option to file the returns on a online or a offline basis. Online, very simple. You click into that and submit all the invoices manually. Who will select this option? So nobody will be interested to submit each and every invoices manually. But I have only one or two invoices. I'm not maintaining my books of accounts through any of the applications. See the application like Tally, or you know very well Zoho kind of a other applications helps you to generate a JSON file and upload through offline. There are two types, online and offline. Online, you can manually enter each and every invoices, invoice number, customer name and GST number, invoice date, whatever the value of taxable supply and the category especially, and the rate of GST, and everything is manually entered for each and every invoices in case of B2B. For B2C, it's a total value you're going to upload. You're not going to mention each and every invoices. But in case of offline, it is very simple. Maintain your books of accounts and Tally, download a JSON file, then upload it from here. That's all. But here also you have one more advantage. When you are maintaining books of accounts and Tally, you no need to download your JSON file even from your Tally itself. That is available from release 5.0 onwards. From Tally itself, you can file your GST returns. There's no need to log into your portal. From Tally, directly you can upload and you can file your returns and you can submit the OTP also from there itself. So to avoid this server busyness problems, Tally arrested this issue from release 5.0. Now I'll show you a sample submission for online method. This I have already mentioned. There are different tabs. Keep your cursor on the tab. Okay. Don't feel that like it is very vague. I don't know what is B2C large or a B2C small. Okay. Just keep your cursor on the tab. Very simple. It says taxable outward supplies to your unregistered persons where place of supply is other than the state are located and the value is more than 1 lakh. Okay, so the B2C customer who's located in other state and you are selling goods for more than 1 lakh, you are going to mention here. Okay, so similarly, everything you are going to mention, supplies exported, the total taxable supplies to unregistered persons other than the supplies covered in. See, if such a nice explanation GST portal is giving for our learning purpose. Net of debit and credits, right? You can adjust your sales returns. And finally, total B2C sales value. There's no need to mention each and every customer name, address, or whatever it is. Assume that there is a hardware shop next to your house. They are selling tube lights, LED bulbs. So you go and buy one LED bulb, 140 rupees. So they will not ask your name, address, your mobile number or whatever it is. Okay, simply they'll give a small bill, tube light, LED, 140 rupees. That's all. They will not collect your name. But similarly, when they are filing the return, they will not mention your name and all. If you are a consumer, total value of supplies they made during the year will be mentioned. Okay, for the example purpose, I'm taking only one invoice. I'm going to upload it, which is for the month of January. I'll take my customers, that is customers, B2B, add a record. Now I'm going to mention their GST number. As soon as I mention my GST number, my customer's name appears here. That's all. Then, see, nothing is a tedious information here. Everything is a basic information. And the nomenclatures used here is very simple. Whatever the terminologies you are using on a regular business activities. Invoice number. Assume that my invoice number is invoice date 13th January. Total invoice value. Now, whether it is where is the point of supply, whether you supplied within Tamil Nadu. This they can identify easily. For example, my customer's GST number is starting from 34. That means I'm supplying goods to the customer who's located other than Tamil Nadu, that is in Pondicherry. It comes automatically. Even if the GST number is not correct, assume that I have mentioned something wrong. So the portal will not allow you to file the return. Okay. Assume that I'm just selecting 34 instead of 33. Do enter a registered GST. There is no such GST number. Suppose your customer is giving wrong information. With this, you can identify and you can ask the customer, then you can upload your GST returns. So it's just a story. If your supplier says we have mentioned a GST number wrongly, because when they are mentioning the GST number, it shows the company name also automatically. Now you can mention the invoice number, you can mention the invoice date, invoice value, and the state to which the materials are supplied. Intrastate. It says automatically it's an intrastate because you are located in Tamil Nadu because your GST number is 33 and your customer is also located in Tamil Nadu. His GST number also 33. So it is intrastate. Right? So suppose you have charged 18%, then you mentioned that the total invoice supply, taxable supply value. Okay, assume that I'm just mentioning that it is 1,18,000. Now I can say my taxable value is 1 lakh. CGST is 9,000, SGST is 9,000. And there is no IGST because I've already selected that it's an intrastate. Then it will not show anything related to IGST. So in this area, there is no possibility of doing mistakes. Then you can save this transaction. See, I've saved this transaction. It is already saved. Request accepted successfully. Again, I'll go back and show you the details I've already submitted here. See, it says I have submitted only one invoice under the B2B category. Processed records. When you are submitting the information, correct values. Your information as well as the values are correct, then GST portal will take it as under processed records. That means it is added. Suppose if there is any error that comes on this area, pending or error invoice, that means this information will not be uploaded on the GST portal. Right? Again, I'm coming back. See, one invoice is submitted successfully. This is how each and every values I'm going to enter it manually if I am selecting online submission. This is called online. And if there is any amendments, for example, last month invoice, I want to make some amendment. Okay, I'll show you the amendment also. For that, you should know the previous month invoice. I'll take one invoice number of the previous month, which I have issued to my customer. I'll show you the amendment. For the month of December, I have issued on invoice number 31. Okay, this is for the financial year 2024-25. Now there is no option to edit the invoice which were issued during 2023-24. We had time till September 2024, not later. I told you already, if you do some mistakes, you can correct it in the amendments, but there is a time limit, not 1 day or 2 days. For the 12 months, the mistakes you are doing for 12 months. After that also, after the completion of a financial year, 6 months of time is given to correct it. So for the financial year 23-24, if you do some mistakes, if you did some mistakes that were corrected till September 2024 returns, not now. Now you have choice to do amendments only for the invoices for the financial year 2024-25. I'll select the invoice in which I did a mistake. That's all. Amend a record. Sorry, the invoice number is wrong. I'll check the invoice number which I have given already. It is 24-25, I think. Yes. See, this is how I'm going to do the amendment. So suppose you filed the wrong information when you're filing the returns, something. Maybe the invoice number is wrong or the invoice date is wrong. There is a high possibility you would have deleted some invoices and the other invoice numbers will be changed. Numbers will be changed. So then you can make the corrections. Even the taxable invoice value, tax rates, instead of 5%, I've charged 18%, something. Whatever the mistakes you are doing can be corrected. I can do the corrections here. I can say it is saved. Okay, now I'm going to save it. I'm not going to save it. I'll just mention back. I'll go back. Now this is your GSTR1 online filing method. Okay, so once everything is updated manually, then you're going to generate a summary. I'm not going to show how I'm generating a summary because it's a real-time filing. It's a real data I've taken. So I'm not going to show you that, but it is very simple. Just mention generate summary and you file your returns through either OTP or through digital signature certificate. Right. Now I'll take the same customer and I'll tell you how to upload offline. That means 1 minute. I'll go back. Processed records. If you want, still if there is any editing before submission, you can do the editing. Or if you want to delete it, you can delete it. Right? Request accepted successfully. I've just deleted. We'll wait for a second and it will be deleted. Just for a demo purpose, I've taken a real-time data and I have uploaded one invoice through online and now I have deleted. Okay. Now I'll come out. Again, I log in. Now I'm going to upload through the offline. For that, let me open my Tally data. This is the data, very simple. Display, statutory reports. I told you already, if the ledgers are properly configured, this is the sales ledger used by this customer. Is a transporter, is issuing transport charges invoice to his customers. GST is applicable, but is giving RCM. That's different. Okay. So taxable 5%. This kind of a categorization is very, very important. If you do some mistakes on this categorization, then your total written data is wrong. Okay. Display statutory reports, GST reports, and GSTR1. Now I can open my GSTR return for the month of January. The same serial numbers are applicable here. The wonderful feature here is Tally will not show different information. Whatever the serial numbers mentioned in the GST portal is applicable here also. 4, 5, 6, and 8, 7 B2C, and 13 for documents, 12 for HSN summary. Everything is available with the same nomenclature. But you have to ensure that there is no uncertainties. If you do some mistakes on the transaction, on the categorization, selecting nature of supply, and the mistakes on the customer's GST number, state code, etc., will be available on this head. Uncertain transactions, that means corrections needed. Without corrections, you cannot file the return. Tally is giving you a warning that out of the 10 invoices you have prepared during the January, some of them are wrong. If that is wrong, you can get into that and you can do the correction, then you can find it. The wrong informations will not be available on the particulars area. It is available on the uncertain transactions area. Now I have only one invoice for the month of January, which I'm going to upload it. Very simple. Now you have two more options. One, you can generate a JSON file and upload it in our GST portal, or you can upload directly from here. This I'm not going to teach you. I'm going to teach you how to generate a JSON file and upload it in the GST portal. Okay, so you have two more options when you are filing offline. If you are using Tally, very simple. One, you can export your return in JSON format. You can export your returns on a JSON format and you can upload it in the GST portal. That is one option. Okay, now I'll do that. Export returns. See, there is an export option. Now I can export in the JSON format. Yes, export separate files for, I can mention no also, right? And you can export. The beauty here is, as soon as you mention the export, Tally will export this month GSTR1 in a JSON format with the name of the file. Now you have to ensure that you're not changing the name of this file. So the name of the file is your GST number and GSTR1 period January 2025, which was generated on 6th February 2025 at 4:58:34 seconds. There's a possibility you may generate it again. Just to identify that the recent files Tally is giving with the date and time. So this is the JSON file. I'll open the place where the JSON file will get stored. Whatever the directory you have specified at the time of Tally installation, you may be specifying the directory where the exported files should be saved. So in my system, it is E drive, TallyPrime folder. I'm going to save all my Tally related exported files. So automatically it comes to my folder. GST number, GSTR1, month, year, date, time with seconds also. This file, you are going to upload it in the GST portal. Now again, I'll open my Tally file, Tally. When I'm doing a export, Tally will give an option. Okay. Once it is exported, it will not be available here. Okay. So now I have exported. It will show the last online GST activity from Tally. I have connected my GST portal on 5th October. That is the time the release 5.0 has come. I've uploaded my returns directly from Tally. Now I'm not uploading it. I'm doing it through JSON format, right? Now let us get into the GST portal. Very simple. I'm into the GST portal now. Services, returns. There is an option here also, GST return dashboard. But it's my practice. I get into the services, returns dashboard. Select the period, including month, and search. Now I already showed you the place from which you are going to file GSTR1. Online, offline. Already I've explained about the online. Now it's the time to learn offline. No offline transactions for the given period. Now only you are going to upload it. Choose to upload. In my system, E drive, there is a folder called TallyPrime, and I have my JSON file here. That's all. Single click. If the transactions are entered properly, if the masters are created with proper classifications of GST configurations, then it is very simple. In single click, you can download and upload your GSTR1 in Tally portal. That's all. I have uploaded. I have not filed. Note a word. Uploaded. Now I'm going to file. Go back to file returns. Select the period again for which you're going to file the return. January. I have just uploaded in the offline format. Just click. Get into that. See, the data is uploaded already. I hope you'd have noticed it. Already we have uploaded one invoice in online format, but I have deleted it. Okay, fortunately, I have only one invoice for this month. I'm giving you demonstration with the real-time data for which only one invoice is applicable. Okay, B2C is not applicable, 6A is not applicable, B2C is not applicable, HSN also is not applicable, it's a service. Documents issued, whatever the invoice I have issued during the month, that comes automatically. I have issued only one invoice during this month. from 2. How many invoices I've issued? From 35 to 35 only I have issued. Only one invoice I have issued. So say, for example, I'm mentioning that 35 to 50 I have uploaded. I can say 1 I have cancelled and 14 is available here. Okay. This is also all your challans, your debit notes, credit notes, everything. You can save it. Right. Again, I'll just open it. Very simple. I'm going to generate a summary. I'm just generating a summary. It takes some time, seconds, not more than that. Your generate summary request has been received. Please check the status in some time by clicking on refresh to view consolidated summary and file GSTR1. I have uploaded. Now I'm going to see the summary. Generate summary. Already it is generated. So let me get into that again. Again, you have seen that the status was showing that ready to file. Now, instead of generate summary, here it is proceed to file. First, I'm going to see the summary before filing the returns. Filing of returns is based on with the help of your OTP or your digital signature certificate. But before that, portal will allow you to see the values, see the summary, right? This is the summary. See, 4 I had 4B, no? So total sales with the GST values. Just check everything, including the documents issued. How many documents I have issued? Since there is no value on other areas, nothing is there to view. Okay. Even at the 4A, 4B, 4C also, there is a drill down option. You can click into that and see the list of invoices you have issued. Say, for example, I have issued 10 invoices, but some invoices are not appearing here. At this stage, once it is generated, there is no provision. You have to file the statement. But you'll get a clarity that you are missing something or you are doing some error kind of a information from this table itself. Okay, you can click into the navigation buttons and identify the values. Say, for example, here I'm just seeing the documents issued. Documents issued only 1. You can check the documents issued also, right? And finally, I'm going to file the statement. That's all. I'm at the end of filing GSTR1, and you are going to give a declaration that the details I'm submitting is correct and on my knowledge. You're giving a self-declaration, right? And finally, the name. Suppose there are 2 partners are the signing authorities in the organization. You can select the partner or the proprietor or the director in which name you are going to file the GSTR returns. Because there is a high possibility in later you may say that I have not done it and one of my partner, he did a mistake and he ran away. That kind of a problem still we have. Depends on the nature of organization. So in that case, you have to be very careful which partners, which directors digital signature are, which person's EVC is going to be applied there. You can select. Now, if it is a digital signature, you can select DSC, or if it is a EVC, you can select electronic verification code. Now you will get a OTP. It is the Aadhaar authentication OTP. That is whatever the numbers already we have given to the GST portal for which the OTP will reach, even to the email ID also. This OTP will reach. Okay. Say, for example, if I click into this EVC, I'll get the OTP to this email ID and also to this mobile number. If I put the OTP, the return will be submitted. With this, I'll stop. I'll not proceed further because I've taken a real-time data for your easy understanding. So this is how we are going to file our GSTR1. Even still, we have one more very easy option, that is filing of GST return through Tally itself. That is through your exchange option. You get into your GST logins, you can upload and you can file your GST returns. That's all, 2 steps. First you upload, then you file your GSTR1. There is nothing to learn further in this. Simply upload your GSTR returns. From Tally, return will reach your GST portal. And finally, you can file. You can cross check and then you can file your GSTR1 from here itself. There's no need to move on a GST portal. You can directly file GSTR1 from your Tally itself, right? So this is how we are going to file our GSTR1 returns, right? And I just want to give some more information about your Tally and your customization. Okay, so we are asset integrated info system will help you to design your invoices. Suppose you feel that the invoices generated by your Tally doesn't look good or colorful or whatever it is, or if you feel some fields you wanted additionally on your invoices. I hope you know about the customization. You can customize it. There is a language called Tally definition language. It is going to help you to design your invoices. See, I have mentioned the real-time invoice of our company. I can add my logo. I can put some colors on my invoices. I can change the fields on the invoices, and even your signature and seal, you can define it. This is a facility available with us. If you want, you can avail it from us. Okay, it's just an additional information I'm just passing to you. So nowadays, we are not taking a printout of invoices. Simply, we are sending invoices to the customers through WhatsApp or email. So some of them I'm seeing that they are downloading the invoices in PDF format and they are putting their seal and signature. Again, they scan and send it to the customer. It is waste of your time and energy. So better from Tally, as soon as you pass a sale entry, when you are accepting the invoice, Tally will raise a question. You want to share it to your customer through WhatsApp? Yes. For that, WhatsApp implementation is very, very important. Or when you're sending the invoice to your customer with the seal and signature, if it goes to the customer, it is very much relevant. It looks professional and customers also accept those invoices. So if you want to get all those supports, get in touch with us. We are here to help you. Anything which is related to your Tally related services, products, TSS, TDL and integrations. So for your Tally related, suppose just note down the numbers on the screen 98490333736, or you can reach us through info@assettally.com also. When you're working on Tally, just see the right top of your Tally. You can find some red dots or alarm buttons states that there is a message from Tally. So this message says you have not upgraded your system. Always try to use the latest release of Tally. Now the latest release is 5.1. Within a week, we are going to see release 6 also with a lot of banking advancements. Okay, Tally is coming with a new release called release 6. Always try to use the latest release instead of the very old, because then only you can use the updated features. Okay, release 5 only has GST filing features. From Tally itself, you can file your GST returns only from release 5.0 onwards. In 5.1, there is an effective invoice management system. And now we are going to face release 6, which is going to have banking managements, auto reconciliation, auto upload of your banking transactions from your Excel statement to Tally directly. Kind of advancements are there in the release 6. For that, you have to upgrade your system. Always use the latest releases and also ensure that your TSS is updated. Always ensure that your TSS is updated. Thank you very much for your participation. Thank you.